Since my last video, I have been addicted to Halo. It got me thinking about back in the day and just how good life was then. I got around to checking my emails and found a particular one showing that Far Cry 6 had been released. This caught me off guard because I haven't seen anything about it. Yet there it was, Gustavo Fring staring me down. Almost like he was taunting me into buying the game. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually the only reason I ended up buying it. To give some background on my history with the series, I have played all of them except for 5. I felt that the quality took a huge dip post Far Cry 3, and holy shit, the state that this game is in is atrocious. First off, you'll have to excuse the quality of the video. The game would not play nice with any of the recording software that I use, and I thought multiple times about just giving up on this video. But the more I played, the more I felt needed to put something out there. This game is the result of photocopying a game over and over and then publishing it. I looked at old footage of 5 and 4 and they look identical. Okay, not exactly, but it's practically the same game in a new area. Now you might be thinking, well, duh, it's a sequel, not a new game. But it only exemplifies the laziness Ubisoft has. The funny thing is, they try to be self-aware and have these Borderlands-style intros, and then expect them to take it seriously. There were multiple moments where I was taken out of the game and just needed to stop. Do not buy this game if you are a fan of the older entries in the series. One of the most egregious acts that this game displays is how many menus you need to navigate to play the game. I had touched this on my Metro video, which if you haven't watched it yet, go do that. But one of my main points was how the game flows naturally between menus and gameplay. This game, however, has a menu for literally everything. Talking to NPCs? Menu. Want to change your guns? Menu. Playing the game? Menu. Okay, that last one's a joke, but the tips are very in your face and obnoxious. It's weird to me that when playing previous games, there wasn't ever this RPG-styled quests where you talk to an NPC and it pulls up showing you the rewards and EXP gain. Even something as simple as picking a gun up and equipping it takes a decent amount of effort. You have to open your arsenal, select which slot to do, then scroll through the guns, select it, and then finally, gun. The torment from menus doesn't end there. There's this really annoying feature, or bug, that happens when there's a delay from pausing the game to when it actually is paused. So you move the cursor automatically because you just hit pause, but then your camera flies in another direction so that you are disoriented when you unpause. This could be fixed with an easy patch, or maybe by the time this video is out, it already is, but when I played, it was happening. The game loves to waste your time. For every outpost or checkpoint you capture, and there's a lot of those because, it's an open world Ubisoft game, you have this long, drawn out cutscene that you cannot skip. For a game with a needlessly large map and a million chores to do, you would think that Ubisoft would be kinder about how it uses your time. The cutscenes in general are just slow and awkward at times. Really short conversations would be had, followed by a slow pan into the main character's face, it fades out, and then loading screen. If I were to do an entire playthrough, and I mean 100%, I would be willing to bet money that at least a fifth of the game was some form of unskippable time waster. It just drags on and on. So at this point, you're probably wondering where the payoff is. Well, I can tell you where it's not. The gameplay. Oh my god, the fucking gameplay. It's heinous. Not because of how it feels or the overused genre. It's the gameplay loop. It's the basic copy-pasta Ubisoft game. Never have I ever been so bored playing a game before. There are multiple instances of just mindless walking and driving to objectives. Almost every new character you meet, you have their introduction cutscene, which I still can't believe how dumb they are, and then you end up following them down a path while listening to their story and conflicts. Reaching your destination, you talk to another new character, follow a path, and then start the actual mission. I understand exposition needs to happen at some point, but definitely could be done in a better way. They make it a point to show that you have a cell phone, and they make use of it too. So rather than needing to follow people around listening to them, to just meet up or something, fuck it, just use Skype or some sort of video chat. Which leads me to my next point. The AI in this game only works half the time. I can't even tell you how many times I had followers fall to their death or ruin a stealth mission, because when you are doing a quest with an NPC, you have zero control over them. For example, where I won't go into specifics as to avoid spoilers, there's a mission where you're being escorted in a dire situation. The NPC I was following would regularly move back and forth, walking into walls and being useless in general. Mind you, this was a time-sensitive mission too. These features are probably deliberate because the stealth is a fucking joke and the game is super easy. With there being just two difficulties, one for a more cinematic experience and normal. Right off the bat, you get a gun that with one shot, headshots everyone. You can just run around and shoot people in the head, and if they almost catch you, well, too bad, just shoot them in the head. There's no consequences for any of your actions. You can run around and kill civilians all you want, and not worry about a damn thing. Health packs are auto regen, so you really have to try to die, and the enemies are as tactical as a monkey. I honestly don't think I'm going to finish the game. Half of me wants to, so that I can see just how bad the game gets, and the other half is scared of what there is for me to find. Now, as for the story, this game feels so generic and done so many times before. Far Cry 4 was pretty much the same idea, just in a different country. But this time around, there are no choices, not like it matters anyways. I have become sick and tired of these overused tropes of taking down an awful dictator who is pure evil. There's really no call to action, or any reason making you want to play other than the gameplay, and like I said earlier, even the gameplay is booty. I mean, it's an interesting concept, don't get me wrong. Revolutions can be fun, but there could have been a better way to do it. Maybe don't frame a game story with the libtards versus MAGAs. Copying tropes from prior titles is kind of lame as well. There is a tobacco field and you burn it down, similar to Far Cry 3 with weed and Skrillex. Now of course this isn't a terrible thing, but it feels lazy. However, it is nice to have that homage and pay tribute to earlier titles. Throughout the story, it takes you to multiple zones in Yaren. That's the country that this is in. And within these zones are checkpoints and bases you can capture to up your rank within the guerrilla. Besides some other fetch quest type things, that's pretty much all there is to this game. The exciting parts are supposed to come with the character interactions, but I could not think of a single character I liked or that was memorable. And that's sad because I used to be a fan. The days of compelling Far Cry villains are over. I can't really end this video on a bad note. There is genuinely fun stuff to the game, even if it's unintentional. Free roaming and having fun with the sandbox was enjoyable at first. Not having consequences for your actions can allow for some interesting hijinks. Exploring was never really too boring, and the treasure hunts really shine. I will say that the city is a nice change from normal Far Cry, having some sign of civilization. Some of the side stories are decently written as well, but again, this is few and far between. I'll be honest, it's hard to come up with good things in this game. The game took a weird direction around every corner. I really wanted this to be good. I never want a game to fail, even if it's one I really dislike. That's why it saddens me so much. The game is a shell of its former self, and that freaking sucks. I honestly don't know what I expected with this game, so I only have myself to blame. There was no way it was going to be good based on looks alone. Far Cry is a far cry of what it used to be. Sorry, I had to get the joke in there at least once in this video. Sometimes it's better to think outside the box than be stuck in the same rut because you have to provide games with a larger number. I mean, really, there are some games that are getting up there in numbers. Will they ever reach a point where Ubisoft will go the Halo or COD route, reboot the series, or just keep adding numbers until they run out of funds? I mean, they already did that with Assassin's Creed. I hope that they take a step back, take these years of knowledge, and come out with a great game that is not a sequel. But they won't, because the masses don't care about new things. They want to hang on to their old way of life. First off, congratulations on making it this far in the video. Hopefully it didn't seem like I hated the game too much. First thing I want to say is, holy shit. Thank you all for the 1K subs. I honestly cannot thank you enough for supporting this channel. Now that I've gotten this much of a following, I want to take this a bit more seriously, and I plan on coming out with more content at a faster rate. Don't worry, I will not sacrifice quality for quantity. I refuse to put out a video that I would not approve of, or would not want to watch myself. I just launched my Patreon, so if you want to support the channel further or want some of the added benefits of pledging, then go look at that. Links in the description. I love you all, have a good day, and see you on Halloween.